Life on the world's highest mountains is not only a story of survival in harsh conditions, but also a symbol of human resilience and infinite creativity. From the majestic Himalayas in Asia, where Mount Everest towers, to the wild Andes of South America, the towering mountains have always been a challenge for humans. At dizzying heights, where the air is thin, the temperatures are cold, and the environment is harsh, millions of people still choose the mountains as their home and learn to adapt to this different life. Let's explore their lives, the people in the highlands, from their lifestyle, culture, to the unique survival methods they have developed over the centuries. 1. Harsh terrain and adaptation. The world's high mountain regions, such as the Himalayas, Andes, and Alps, are not only majestic with their peaks touching the clouds, but also pose a severe survival challenge for anyone who wants to settle here. The biggest characteristics of high mountain regions are the huge difference in altitude, sudden climate changes, and harsh environmental conditions. At altitudes above 3,000 meters, temperatures can drop below 0 degrees Celsius even in the summer. Strong winds, ice and snow, and unpredictable weather are an indispensable part of life in these places. Furthermore, the air becomes thinner as the altitude increases, making breathing more difficult. This means that the human body has to spend more energy just to perform basic activities. Indigenous people in high mountain regions have adapted to this condition in many ways. For example, their bodies are able to produce more red blood cells than those living in the plains. This allows them to absorb oxygen more efficiently, helping them maintain basic functions even in oxygen-poor environments. This adaptation is an evolutionary process that has taken place over many generations, helping people here not only survive, but also thrive in harsh conditions. Living in the mountains means facing many deprivations. Living conditions in the highlands are often very difficult. Food, clean water, and other necessities are often much more difficult to access than in lowland areas. In fact, many highland communities have to be completely self-sufficient in terms of food, growing their own crops, and raising livestock to survive. Growing crops in the highlands is a big challenge. The poor soil, steep terrain, and cold, dry climate have forced people to invent unique farming methods. In many places, they build terraced fields to grow crops, helping to prevent soil erosion and take advantage of water resources. Barley, buckwheat, and potatoes are staple crops, as they can withstand the cold. Families also raise livestock for meat, milk, and wool. In the Himalayas, people raise yaks, animals that can withstand the cold in high altitudes. They not only provide food, but also transport goods over treacherous roads. Their wool is used to weave rugs and thick clothing, which helps keep people warm during the harsh winters. Water is another problem. Many communities rely on glaciers for water, but climate change has reduced the amount of water available from these rivers. Water is often piped in from long distances via wooden or metal troughs built by villagers. The steep terrain and narrow winding paths make traveling in the mountains extremely dangerous and time-consuming. In many areas, people still have to use horses, mules, or yaks to move goods and food because vehicles are inaccessible. Sometimes it takes hours or even days to reach a village just a few miles away, crossing treacherous rocky paths. In addition, snowstorms and landslides can easily cut off all connections between villages and the outside world. This makes their lives not only dependent on natural conditions, but also in a state of constant isolation. 2. Culture and spirituality on the mountain peaks. Life in the high mountains is not only shaped by harsh natural conditions, but also by a deep cultural attachment to nature. In areas such as the Himalayas, Andes, and other mountainous regions, nature is not only a source of resources, but is also worshipped as part of the spiritual culture. Mountains are symbols of strength, immortality, and the source of life. The Sherpas living in the Himalayas worship mountains like Everest, not only as a physical challenge, but also as sacred places where gods reside. They believe that mountain peaks are the homes of gods and ancestors. Whenever climbing mountains, especially Everest, Sherpas often hold sacrificial ceremonies to pray for protection from the gods. Puja, a traditional spiritual ceremony, is performed to pray for good luck before each climb, showing respect to the guardian spirits of the mountain peaks. Similarly, in the Andes, the Quechua and Aymara people worship Pachamama, the earth goddess. They regard Pachamama as a symbol of life, a bringer of good harvests, and a protector from natural disasters. Pachamama worship ceremonies often include offerings of corn, coca leaves, and other agricultural products. To express gratitude, festivals and traditional ceremonies are an integral part of the cultural life of mountain people. In the Himalayas, the Sherpa Mani Rimdu Festival is an occasion for the community to gather, hold prayer ceremonies, and perform dances in honor of the mountain gods. In the Andes, the Inti Raymi Festival, a festival honoring the ancient Inca sun god, is one of the largest cultural events, attracting both indigenous people and tourists. The architecture of mountain villages is also a testament to human creativity and adaptability. Houses here are often built with natural materials such as stone, clay, wood, which help keep warm in the cold winter and withstand strong winds. A typical architectural feature in highland areas is the terraced villages, built according to the terrain of the mountain. This not only helps to maximize the land area for cultivation, but also creates a majestic landscape. A typical example is the village of Machu Picchu in Peru, one of the cultural heritages of humanity, built on the natural terraces of the Andes. The combination of natural landscape and sophisticated architecture makes Machu Picchu a symbol of the creativity and survival of the ancient Incas. In the Himalayas, villages of the Sherpa and other indigenous peoples are often located at altitudes above 3,000 meters, with houses made of gray stone and cedar wood. Low roofs, thick walls, and small windows help to retain heat and protect against cold winds. Some villages also have ancient monasteries where religious ceremonies take place and are the spiritual centers of the community. 3. Economy and livelihood. The economy of the highland peoples is mainly based on agriculture and livestock. However, due to the harsh conditions, they have had to develop unique farming methods. In the Himalayas, people grow barley and potatoes on terraced fields that were created thousands of years ago. The terraced fields not only prevent soil erosion, but also help collect rainwater from the mountain peaks for irrigation. In the Andes, indigenous people raise llamas and alpacas. The hair of these animals is used to weave cloth, creating warm wool products that are famous all over the world. Raising goats and yaks is also an important source of income, especially for communities in the Himalayas, where yak milk, meat, and hair play an indispensable role in daily life. In recent decades, tourism has become an important source of income for highland communities. Mountaineers and nature lovers flock to famous destinations such as Everest, Annapurna, Himalaya, or the peaks of the Andes to conquer. The growth of tourism has brought economic opportunities to many local people, especially in the fields of mountain guiding, transportation, and small hotel services. The Sherpas of Nepal, with their ability to adapt to high altitudes, have become the best mountain guides in the world. They are not only skilled at climbing, but also have a deep understanding of difficult weather conditions and terrain. However, tourism also brings some major environmental challenges, as waste from climbing groups seriously pollutes pristine highland areas. 4. Environmental challenges and climate change. Climate change has had a major impact on the lives of people in highland areas. Global warming is causing glaciers to melt faster, threatening the water supply of millions of people who depend on glacier-fed rivers. Studies have shown that the glaciers in the Himalayas could disappear completely by the end of the 21st century if temperatures continue to rise at the current rate. In the Andes, the disappearance of glaciers is also causing water scarcity, greatly affecting agriculture and livestock. In addition, climate change is increasing the frequency and intensity of extreme weather events such as landslides, flash floods, and droughts. Faced with the challenges of climate change, many highland communities have begun to take action to protect their living environment. Environmental organizations and scientists are working with local people to research and develop new ways to adapt to changing weather conditions. Tree planting, river protection, and tourism waste recycling programs have also been implemented in many areas. For example, in Nepal, a movement called Keep Everest Clean was initiated to reduce waste on the Everest climbing routes. These campaigns not only benefit the environment, but also raise public awareness about the importance of protecting their natural home. 5. The future of mountain life. Life on high mountains is always a challenging and harsh journey. However, with perseverance, creativity, and great adaptability, people in high mountains have been writing vivid stories of survival. In the future, they will continue to face new challenges, especially from climate change and unsustainable tourism development. But no matter what, the high mountains will always be an endless source of inspiration, not only for those who are passionate about conquering, but also for the whole world about the strength of will and perseverance in the face of adversity. People living on the high peaks have been, are, and will always be symbols of humanity's desire to reach new heights. 6. Explore and connect life. On the highest mountains in the world contains countless stories about people and wild nature. From terraced fields to spiritual worship rituals associated with mountains and forests, these lands not only test human endurance, but also honor the strength of spirit and adaptation. With the pressures of climate change and the rapid development of tourism, life on the mountains is constantly changing. However, the spirit of the people here is as resilient as the sky-high peaks. They are striving to preserve traditional values, protect the natural environment, and develop the community in a sustainable way. Have you ever imagined yourself standing on a mountaintop, looking far away, admiring the majestic beauty of nature? Do you dream of conquering the challenges of mountain life? Share with us your thoughts about life on these mountains. Do you want to learn more about interesting stories from the indigenous people living here? Have you ever experienced mountain climbing or traveling to the highlands? Share your feelings. We look forward to hearing your shares, questions, and opinions. Together, we will continue to explore the beauty of the world's highest mountains and the stories of the resilient people living there. Leave a comment and start this interesting conversation.